So when I was quite young, maybe I was studying in standard 5th or 6th. Since then, I had a desire to sit down in Padmasana and do meditation. I didn't know anything. My family background is like this, that the male members in my family were Arya Samajis. You know Arya Samaj? And the female members were Sanatani, that is the Indian traditional Hindu religion. There's a difference between the two. The Arya Samaj does not believe in casteism, but they follows Vedas. But I was not interested in either of them. But in my house, there was a photograph of Lord Shiva doing meditation. So that photo inspired me, always inspired me when I was a child. And seeing Lord Shiva like that, I would do meditation without having learnt anything. Just sit down, close my eyes and do nothing. So this I used to do even in the school. If there was a leisure time, I would sit down in the corner on a desk and then do like this. But then it did not continue like that. Until I was about 15 years old. Then suddenly I developed inclination for learning meditation. I had no other teacher there who could teach me. So I used to read the books of Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Mahatma Gandhi, and many other similar people who were there. Then I also came in contact with Yogoda Satsang Society, that is the self-realization fellowship of Yogananda. So Yogananda I enrolled with their institution and learned the lessons from them. When all this was taking place, I was...
What year is it?
This is 1963-64. Now, when this was taking place, then I got admitted in the engineering college in 1964. And now when all this was taking place, my family was non-vegetarian. So I decided to stop eating non-vegetarian food on my own. Then a friend of mine was already initiated into Anandmar sadhana, and he had also got personal contact with Baba. So he used to tell me so many things about Anandmar. But in the meantime, I liked what he was talking, but there was nobody to teach me sadhana. So he took me to one place, a Margi's place. He was actually a teacher in our school and very respected teacher. He was a good Anand Margi. So he took me to his place, and incidentally some sannyasis were visiting his place. So I had a discussion about Anand Marg sadhana with those people. But somehow these sannyasis did not impress me. So I did not learn sadhana from them. But the teacher in whose house they were visiting, he was a serious person, intelligent person. And after our meeting with the sannyasis, he suggested that when I go back to the place where I was studying engineering, that was Raipur. So he told me that when you go back to Raipur, you meet, his friend was a family acharya, and he was posted then in Raipur. Raipur, All India Radio. He was director of All India Radio, and he was a family acharya. So he gave me the address of that friend of his, and after I returned back to my place of study, then me and a friend of mine who was also my room partner in the hostel, both of us went there to meet this person, this family acharya. And when we met him, we learned sadhana. I learned sadhana. That was in 1966. Now, soon after I learned sadhana, started doing sadhana, but there was this change. I wanted to meet Baba. I had an intense desire to meet him. In those days, we have not seen Baba. Even the photograph was not available. The Acharya also did not talk anything about Baba. He only initiated us. So they were not talking about Baba, and photographs were also not available so easily. So we did not see Baba, but then there was internal inspiration. Actually, it goes back to earlier times, when I had a desire to find a living Guru. I used to mentally feel very sad because Ramakrishna had left his body and there was no living Guru then known to me. So when I was initiated and I learned that Baba is living, so I was very happy. That's created a satisfaction in my mind, having found him without meeting him. And what happened that in my college, we were living in a hostel there. After, in the evening when I used to go for a walk in the woods. And when I used to get out of the boundary of my college, I would have a distinct feeling that somebody was walking with me. Throughout the time I would walk, maybe an hour or so, that feeling would remain, that somebody is with me. And this continued for many, many days, not just days, actually months, the same feeling. So my desire to meet Baba was every day increasing. But I was not able to go because we were not allowed to leave college. And my examinations were in May. So after I had finished my examinations, I proceeded, and in that year, we were supposed to be undergoing industrial training. And for industrial training, I had to choose a place where I can go for industrial training. So I chose Durgapur in West Bengal, Durgapur steel plant, for my industrial training. I chose that particularly because Ranchi was on the way, and Baba was staying in Ranchi in those days. So in 1967 May, I reached Ranchi on way to Durgapur steel plant for industrial training. Now when I reached there, we were supposed to be carrying a letter of recommendation from the Acharya for getting personal contact. So my Acharya gave me a letter for getting personal contact with Baba. When I reached there, it was during daytime that I reached there, in the Jagrati. Now, that particular day, when I reached there, there was a family, there was a lady and her husband. They were middle-aged people. They were also there. So I spoke to them and they suggested that I should go for a field walk with Baba. In the evening, Baba used to go for a field walk in Ranchi. But I said that I have not come here for meeting Baba in the company of so many people. I want personal contact. So I did not go. So I waited until next day. I submitted my letter of recommendation to the office secretary. So next day I was in the queue for personal contact and my turn came. When I entered Baba's room, I did prostration and then Baba called me near him. So I sat just very close to him. He was seated on the cot. And then the first thing that Baba said was that why did you delay in coming to me? I have been calling you since long. Anyway, I did not reply, but then it continued. Then later he told me that you have committed mistakes. So I said, yes, I have committed some mistakes. Then Baba said that do you agree to get punishment for that? I said, yes, you can punish me. So Baba twisted my ears then I had certain questions in my mind, particularly regarding Ramakrishna Paramahansa. I asked Baba whether Ramakrishna Paramahansa was God realized master. He said yes, he was. Then I asked him that as a God realized master, whether he was omniscient. He knew everything. Baba said yes, he was omniscient. Then Baba explained me what it means by God realization. So Baba told me that suppose there is a flower. There is somebody who is looking at the flower. There is a flower and the person who is looking at the flower, and the link between the person and the flower. When these three things fuse into one, this is called realization. So God realization means merging into the unit soul, merging into the cosmic soul. Okay, and then Simon, he also told me that when you will get God realization, then you will find that Baba is seated in you. So some more discussion like this continued. Then I was at that time doing some weight training exercises. So I inquired from Baba whether I should continue doing that. Baba said, it is not necessary for you, don't do that. Then I wanted to know whether we should practice some exercises to see aura of individuals. Baba said these are all wasteful things. They are not concerned with the goal of human life. So there is no point in wasting one's time in these things, he told me. Now, when I was, then he asked me to stand up. And then I stood up. And then he touched my chest. And he said that, do you feel pain here? I said, Baba, whenever I'm lifting something, I feel pain. Then Baba said, you are suffering from mild tuberculosis. So Baba said that I am now curing your tuberculosis. So he cured it. He said, it is cured now, you have no problem. Then he asked me to come and be seated on his lap. So I sat on his lap and I kissed him. Then Baba asked me to take 3 oaths. One, that I will work for his mission. And I will do service of humanity. And third, I will bring at least 500 people on the path of spirituality. These 3 things, 3 oaths he asked me to take. So after that I came out from my personal contact was over. But in the meantime, quite some time was lapsed. It might have been more than half an hour that I was with him. After the personal contact, there used to be Janla Darshan in the same room in Ranchi. So everybody came in, all the Margis, brothers and sisters came inside the room. And then he used to give some talk. Now, when this talk was going on some subject that he was talking, I had a doubt in my mind about what he was talking. So then he called some worker, some Margi who was sitting there, and touched the back of his head and asked him to look at me. And what are you seeing? So he said, Baba, I'm seeing that his mental plate is white, but then there are streaks of black. Baba said these streaks of black are because of the doubt that he's having on what I was talking. Then after that, then he called, he asked the same person to look into my past life. Then he started seeing something. When he touched him, he started seeing me in some old days doing wrestling. So then Baba took over and started saying that yes, in my past life, about 100 years ago, he was a wrestler in a place called Rawalpindi. Rawalpindi presently is in Pakistan. It used to be in India earlier. Then he said Rawalpindi actually is a town which was inhabited by the Brahmins of Rawal Brahmins. And his name was Balwant Singh Gill. My name 100 years ago was Balwant Singh Gill. That was the name. So he said that as a wrestler, he fought with another wrestler and eventually lost that wrestling. So after he lost that feat, he decided to leave wrestling and proceeded to the mountain. He went to the mountain and then continued to stay there until he died. He did some meditation there, he said. So after my personal contact was over, then I returned back to my industrial training, to Durgapur Steel Plant. And I was allotted a room there where I used to stay. Now, on one particular night, it was maybe about 2 o'clock in the night, suddenly I woke up at 2 o'clock in the night because I got a feeling as if somebody has entered my room. I had bolted the room inside, but I woke up thinking that somebody has entered into my room. So when I woke up, I looked around. It was light and dark. I switched on the lights, looked around, went outside to see who was there. But I could not find anybody. But I had a distinct feeling that it was Baba who had come to my place. And I could not sleep that night. In the morning, I wrote a letter to the office secretary that I would like to come and see Baba again. So I received a reply from the central office that I can come. So the next weekend, I took a bus and reached there. And I was again standing in the queue for personal contact with Baba. I got my chance, and when I entered Baba's room, Baba said, I went to your place in the night, but I found you sleeping, and I did not want to disturb you. He had already disturbed. Thing happened when, after this, when I returned back to my college, there was a DMC in my place. So Baba had come for DMC. In the meantime, I have got some 100 of my friends from the engineering college initiated into sadhana, at least 100. And some 25 people came for personal contact with Baba, out of which about 15 got personal contact. So now all this was happening. And there was a DMC program, and Baba's program was very tight. Although all this was happening, but I did not get any opportunity to come face to face with Baba there. So I had I was feeling sad inside that although Baba came here and stayed for 3 days, I could not get any opportunity to meet him. And the day of his departure also came. Baba used to travel by train during those days. So we went to the station where Baba was to board the train. The train had not come, and Baba was sitting in the lounge, in the waiting hall for the train to come, and there were hundreds of people who had come to see off Baba. I was also somewhere far away from that where Baba was sitting with my friends. Then suddenly, and I was feeling sad because Baba was about to go. Now suddenly what happened, I saw one young, white, some young man clad in white dress. He was calling my name. He was calling my name in the platform. First I thought that, because I did not know him, so I thought it is not me, it's somebody else he is calling. But when he continued to call and nobody responded, so I went close to him and told him that I am such and such person. He said, Baba is calling you. So I rushed to the place where Baba was sitting in the waiting hall. I went inside, did Sastang Pranam, and kept my head on Baba's knees. He pushed me so that I do not touch Baba. But anyway, Baba in the meantime has started touching my cheeks like this. Huh? 1, 2, 1, 2. Like this Baba did. And he was smiling, and I had my heart full of bliss looking at him. And suddenly there was a whistle, the train was coming. So Baba got up and... See, then the next opportunity came in my life was when I passed out from my college, for engineering college. And then I decided to become a sannyasi. And I sent all my books, engineering books, to Anandnagar then. And I went to Ranchi. Baba was staying in Ranchi. It was 1969. Again in the month of May, end of May. And during that time, I stayed there for about 45, 50 days, maybe 2 months. And I got the opportunity to get personal contact with Baba several times during my stay. Actually, whenever there used to be less persons, I would get an opportunity to go to him. So it used to be all blissful days. Now the day I reached there, I got an opportunity to meet him in person. And I told him that, Baba, I have completed my college, engineering college, and now I have come to you, and I have sent my books to Anandnagar, and I want to live with you. Then that means I want to become a sannyasi. Then Baba said, you go and talk to some senior acharya, and consult some senior acharya. I said that I don't know any senior acharya. You are my father. You have to take a decision. You have to decide what I am supposed to do. I am not interested in talking to anybody, nor I do know anybody. Then Baba smiled and said, you go back now, he told me, and I will call you whenever I need you. So this is how I returned back after 50 days, but then several contacts with him during that period. And many demonstrations performed on me as a medium. Soon after Baba came out of jail, I was not able to go immediately on the day he came out of jail because of my job, and I could not get leave, the privileged leave. My wife had already visited him in the jail, but whenever I went, because of one reason or the other, I could not go to Baba to meet Baba in jail. So for me, it was 7 years gap. And the day I reached there, by his grace, I got the opportunity to have a personal contact. What happened? There was a system Baba had developed by that time after he invented Kaushiki. Those who learned Kaushiki were allowed to perform Kaushiki dance in his room in Patna, in his bedroom. So, in the morning, in the Jagrati, I performed Tandav before him, and in the evening at 5 o'clock, after he had rested, Margis were allowed to go. Those who had learnt Kaushiki, they were supposed to be demonstrating Kaushiki dance before him. So I got that opportunity. After the Kaushiki dance was over, my heart was not filled. I still wanted more. So I requested Ramanand Dada, who was the PA, to get us a chance to go near Baba. Then two of us were waiting for this purpose, Nit Satyanand and me. He also requested Ramananda for a contact with Baba, and I also requested. So Baba agreed. Then first Nit Satyanand went inside, and the second chance was mine. So I also went inside later. When I went there after prostration, Baba, I was very happy looking at him. He called me near him, very close to him, and then opened my mouth like this, as you do for the children, you know. He opened my mouth like, looking at my teeth. He looked at my teeth and said, "Oh, my son has grown very well," he said. Then he also said that, yes, you have developed intellectually. And also he said that the place where you work, people are jealous of you. He told me like that. Anyway, I told him, Baba, I could not come because I could not get leave when you had come out of jail. Another thing that I told him was that, Baba, I could not do anything for you while you were in jail. Then, you know, as a father, he told me, there was nothing for you to do for me. He told me, because my heart was feeling that I did not do anything for him. In a very consoling manner, he told me, there was nothing for you to do for me there. Now, this was the first day. The second day onwards, it was so ordained by him that in the morning and evening there used to be Jarna Darshan in Patna. So in the morning it used to be in the Jagrati. So when he used to come to the Jagrati, from that second day itself, after the pravachan was over, after the talk was over, he told me to translate his speech, if it was in Hindi, to translate it in English, because there were Margis from all over. So he told me to translate whichever language he spoke. If it is English, then Hindi. If it is Hindi, in English. So that was my job. He himself told me to do that. After he had left, I translated his speech before the Margis. After that, I would rush to Baba's quarter where he was staying. And there I would do the transcription of the speech that he has given in the morning from the tape recorder. And then I will request Dada that I can go inside Baba's room for massaging. And Baba allowed. So I was supposed to be doing two things. First, I was supposed to do hot fermentation of his eyes, those boils, every day. It used to take place more than an hour or so. Yeah, the boils were on the eyelid. And this was because of the poisoning that was done to him in the jail. So it was a painful boil and filled with some liquid. So every day I used to do the fermentation. Baba would lie down, once this side, other this side. So both eyes are taken care of. Okay? And then, so this continued. After the hot fermentation, I would do the massage of Baba. I'll do the service of Baba. And he will take rest. While he's taking rest, I will do massage of his feet, hands, body. So in this process, 1:30, Baba would finish his lunch and then he will be resting in the room. From that time until 5:30, when the demonstration of the Kaushiki will take place in his room, I would be staying in his room. That was a great chance that he gave me. For no reason actually. For no reason. Nothing to my credit. Anything great. And that is how it continued for 45 days. After about a month, this boil that I was fermenting, it was broken. Both the boils were broken. Yeah. And the fluid oozed out of that. And Baba felt relieved of the pain that was there, of this boil. That happened after 1 month or so. But I continued to have this opportunity of serving him every day until the day I left. It so happened, actually, there was a small story in between. I had taken leave for 30 days only in the beginning. So the 30th day, I was to leave with my family back to my work. So when I went to Baba's room, did all this, and then by that time the boil had already got cured. But when I was to leave, my train was about 5:30 in the evening. So at 3:30, I told Baba that, Baba, today is my train. I'm departing from here. So Baba got up. He was lying down. He got up, and like a gentleman, he told me, I wish you good luck. In Hindi, he said, Tumhari yatra shubh ho. Anyway, so I came out of his room after doing prostration, and then took my family to the railway station to catch the train. When I reached there, I was told that the train by which I was to travel has been cancelled because of the floods on the way, and the tracks have been dislocated. So we returned back. There used to be an evening darshan also in Baba's house. So we returned back and came also for the evening darshan. Baba looked at us and smiled.